meeting to order. We will start with the consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved at AHA meetings will be approved by one vote unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. Minutes of the monthly finance meeting on March 22nd, 2016. Minutes of the monthly trustee meeting on March 22nd, 2016. And a check report March 8th, 2016 through April 7th, 2016.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Hala Simon to approve the consent agenda as it was presented. Roll call vote, please.
Brown?
Yes.
Gaspard?
Yes.
Kinsey?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Guess that's it.
That's it.
I was sitting there waiting. A couple more.
Rick?
That's your quorum.
All right. The next item is CEO's report. Candace?
All right. Obviously, we have been working really hard on recruiting physicians, and to date, we've interviewed 4 physician candidates. I've done a phone interview with one other. 3 of the candidates are currently finishing their residency programs. And we remain optimistic that we will have one recruited soon. So we spend a lot of time trying to recruit. We can't change our location. That's a big deterrent for candidates. So we're continuing to work, and I really do think that we will have one recruited soon. So other things, pat on the back to Paul Kinsey. He's been volunteering his time in the clinic to help us identify opportunities for improvement with patient flow and experience. We appreciate his efforts, and the goal is that we can get our patients in on time. You know, if Hala's got an appointment at 2 o'clock, we want Hala in the room at 2 o'clock. So Paul is trying to dissect all of these interactions and patient flow to help us accomplish that, among other things. So thank you, Paul. Volunteer hours. For the month, we have had 142 hours. It reminds me I haven't seen Lynn around lately.
He turned in his badge.
He did.
He's care of his wife.
Really? Yeah. Oh, well, I hate that. I miss his smiling face. You can see we've had several new employees over the month. EHR continues to go well, working on the interface between eClinical, which is the clinic software, and Meditech for lab. Upfront collections down a little bit, almost $27,000. Jason, Kelly, and I were able to speak with Jeff Higman and Bryce Marlette regarding some issues that we are facing in rural health care. We did that at Eggs and Issues up at Northwestern on Friday. I have been out for a while. It was fun. It's nice to get back. Kevin was out for a few days. So anyway, I'm leaving again. So be back. I will be back the next Monday. So Friday will be my last day, and then I'll be back the next Monday. So after that, a week after that. And then I'll get to work, I promise. It's been busy. We've had the telemedicine program with Dr. Rader. Wow. Kevin figured to date our average daily census is 8.5. Wow. I got to digging back through old board reports to see how far back that was, and I was back about 10 years.
Yeah, it was 10 years ago.
So that we average that. So that's pretty cool. It's going well, very well received by patients and their families. Haven't heard any complaints. It's really helped with our patient census. So we've got 2 practitioners, mid-levels hired for the emergency room. So that will lighten up our use of the locums, which is so expensive for us. We had 3 spots available, and I think that we're going to be able to, with those that we have that want to work the ER here and there, I think we're going to be able to fill those, maybe use locums just a little bit for that 3rd spot, but I think that'll save us some money. So seems to be going well. The nurses are buzzing about. It's just exciting to see it that busy upstairs. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh,
It's wonderful.
And the nurses are loving it. They'd much rather be overly busy than just sitting around doing.
And when I get finished with my report, I've got thank you notes that have come from patients or in their families on my desk. Very happy with the care that they're getting. So it's exciting. We're glad to see that. So kudos to Dr. Rader. I know he's working really hard. He made the effort to come to the turkey hunt and had a great time. I mean, one of the doctors that we're trying to recruit came and got to spend a lot of time with him, and it looks good, so, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, the hospitalist program, a lot of times for my patients, I've had Dr. Rader take care of those patients in the hospital. And so I get to come by and check on them every day or every once in a while to make sure they're doing all right and ask them what they think of what's going on. And they're really very happy with it. I mean, more than they haven't complained, I kind of ask them to complain and they're like, no, this is fine. I thought it would be strange, but it's working out great. So that's really nice. And I think that one of the reasons we're able to put more people in the hospital now is the same thing we talked about once before, is that sometimes people would come to the emergency room, and if there was any chance of them going bad, we had to move them somewhere else because it was so hard to transfer a patient once something went wrong. But now with the hospitalist already involved and the doctor already knowing what's going on, we can go ahead and admit those patients who are kind of iffy, try to keep them here, and then if something doesn't seem right, or if they need additional care, it's a simple matter to, well, it's dramatic sometimes, but still, you know, the flow is already there. It's like,
Right.
oh yeah, they need to be at a higher level of care, I'll take them here.
Right.
And they move, instead of us having to kind of panic and call around and find a hospital that's willing to accept them. That's already in place. So, so we've transferred a lot more patients than we normally would, but that's because we've got these patients that are on the cusp that normally we probably have had to send away, but we get to keep here instead. So
It's
really
exciting for the nurses to use their skill.
It's really nice.
And I have to say, Bridget, I was very skeptical. We were wired to go a long time ago, and you know, here in Heiss, what's his first name? Landon. I want to call him Brandon. Landon talk about, you know, their increased census. I was just like, man, I just don't see it happening. You know, you're hopeful that it would, but overnight, it really did.
That's the way we want it to work, so
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That's the way it's working.
And Dr. Kinsey, is that, you feel like that will also be helping you?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, definitely, especially, you know, right now, since I'm supervising the urgent care and the other clinic and my clinic and seeing patients in the nursing homes and all of that,
You can't do it
this
all.
takes that extra, you know, if I had even 4 patients in the hospital, that's 2 hours a day doing that. And so trying to do all that other stuff and seeing those patients in the hospital, it would be really hard. So this is definitely an improvement.
Wow,
It's
all right,
really
good,
nice.
good. Win-win-win.
Yeah, and like I said, I've inquired of patients, you know, are you sure this is okay? Because I want them to feel like they can tell me, you know, not, oh, this is fine, but, you know, they're like, this is great. It's really cool. It feels like he's in the room. I just don't have a problem with it.
And they get to the point where they talk about it as though he,
He was
been
there,
around, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like he's right there with them, so it's been very, very nice. And then I feel very comfortable, and, I love Dr. Rader because he does what I would do, and so.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
So it's not like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, well, there you go,
Yeah.
it's just nice, so.
Well, that's reassuring as well. Yeah. Great. Anything else?
No.
Anybody else have anything to add? Questions? If not, I would entertain a motion then.
Oh, I move that we accept the CEO's report for March 22nd, 2016.
I have a motion by Dr. Kinsey, a second by Dr. Brown to approve the CEO's report. Roll call vote, please.
Gaspard,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
yes.
All right. Thank you, Ken. Next is the CFO's report. Kevin?
Sure. For the month of March, we posted a net income of $967,470. Before sales tax, after sales tax and donation, $1,022,964. And the reason for that is we did receive our EHR incentive money, and that was a total of $1,185,000 of money that we received for that, and that's for our electronic health records that we met all the criteria for and submitted that. At the end of March, we had a cash balance of $838,965. That represented 24.8 days of operating expenses. Our accounts receivable increased by $19,295. We're at $2,713,464. Our gross days went from 62.4 down to 61.8. Our net days went from 48.7 down to 48.3. Accounts payable for March was $734,631. That represented 52 days of operating expense. Gross patient revenue for all facilities was $1,710,751. All three facilities noticed an increase in revenue. The hospital's revenue increased by $34,659. The nursing home increased by $7,541, and the homestead increased by $7,877. Patient days in March were 87 compared to 65 in February. Hospice days were 72 compared to 63 in February. Our office visits were almost identical between the 2 months. We had 1,052 in March to 1,078 in February, and our nursing home census went from 53 down to 51.4. But part of that was due to the fact that we were moving, at that time, we were in the transition of skilled nursing, moving back from there over here to our swing bed program. So that's been missing a small decrease there. Contractuals for the month were 51.8% of total gross patient revenue. We wrote off $135,913 to the collection agency. We gave away $2,255 in charity care. And our operating expenses, excluding salaries, benefits, and depreciation, was $473,517. If you flip over to page 2, it's all three facilities together. The line item, there's a couple line items I want to talk about. The first is in the expense area. Professional fees, you can see, went from $53,716 up to $122,730. That was due to the fact that we had to have locums in our ER for the whole month. So that was the increase there for having locums. In the past, we had nurse practitioners and physician back there, but now we had to completely contract that out. The other line item that I want to talk about is sales tax. You can notice it went from $124,000 in February down to $85,306. So it's almost a $40,000 decrease. Looking over on page 4, for the year-to-date, you can see that we're within $10,000 from where we were last year in gross revenue. Our net revenues is about $1,500 less than we were. The only increase is in the other operating expenses, and that's just because we received more EHR money this year than we did last year. We're about $300,000 more. You can see we're at $1.2 million this year compared to $915,000 last year. And our expenses are roughly around the same. The only other big large item that's down is the sales tax. Last year at this time we had $1,374,000. This year at $54,000. So we're down about $320,000 in sales tax year to year, side to side. Last year, we were at net income of $119,417. This year at $29,877. The hospital last month, you can see, actually posted net operating income of $926,228, but that was due to the fact of the EHR money. And you can see the sales tax was down there. We actually made from operations with contributions $980,697. Flipping over to page 7 is a nursing home. They posted $251,000. They made money for the third month in a row of $13,345. So nursing home's done real well. I know they've worked very, very hard on getting the scheduling down for the staff and stuff, and it's really showing off, and you can see that they've really done a good job as far as that goes. Page 9 is the homestead. They continue, like we do every month, to make a profit. This month they were at $28,922. Page 11 is the accounts receivable. One of the things we talked about at finance today was the self-pay was up a little bit again this month. Part of it's due to the fact that we're in a new year. Everybody's got to meet their new deductible, because even though they have health insurance, most people have $2,500 or $5,000 deductible, and people right now don't have all that money right now to pay up front. And so we expect the self-pay to kind of rise a little bit, but that should go back down. But you can see that it's went up steadily for the last couple of months. But overall, AR has remained steady at $3.1 million. The last few pages, but 13 and 14 is your balance sheet, and the rest of them is just graph information. Shows you kind of where the visits are. OR was down a little bit last month. We're down 8 procedures, but we had Dr. Ransom was gone for a couple of weeks, so that did make a difference there. He's been very busy in April, so we expect those numbers to come right back. It was just it being the timing of him being off. So.
Dr. Kinsey, you were gone a week in March, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So. Is there any questions I can answer?
Does anybody have any questions for Kevin? If not, we will move on. Thank you, Kevin. Next is the Medical Staff Executive Committee. Chief of Staff, Dr. Kinsey. Do you have anything?
I have nothing from the medical staff, but I want to slide something in. On Monday, we ended up with no local coverage for the emergency room. And
From 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Not too long.
Volleyball.
But Carrie Luxon slid over from urgent care and saw urgent care patients and emergency patients, and just, stepped in and did an excellent job there. She only had to call me a couple times. But, it ended up being a hard morning, and she did a great job. And then David Holland agreed to come in on Monday too, to kind of help pick up the extra urgent care. So I really appreciate the hard work of the two of them, for David coming in on his day off and Carrie picking up the extra load in the emergency room.
Very good, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. No other business?
I got nothing else.
And
All right.
thank you for covering it.
Yeah, you as well. All right, do we have anything on Quapping? No?
At the meeting's tomorrow.
Okay, so we don't have anything that we need to approve or anything? Okay. All right, next item, is there gonna be anything for improvement? Okay, that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Rita, Sheriff Convalescent Home Report.
Well, we're talking about March, so
I'll reflect back. We went to the casino on the 22nd of March, and of course, everybody has a good time down there. So we'll probably be setting up another time to go in September. They don't like to go when it's real hot. I had to leave early because we had a board meeting that night, but they all had fun, and it was really windy that day. And bless their hearts, they just like to go down there. They like to get out, and they like to go. We have taken one or two of our residents that has fallen to maybe not the best health, and we're trying to take them to different places also outside of the facility to eat, just in order to maybe help alleviate any kind of anxiety they might have about their condition. And then we have been working hard on, I'm guessing y'all know, the Senior Olympics that Beatles puts on every year was postponed due to a death of one of their persons that does that. We will have that set up for June 10th. The activities person has this wonderful circus. It is just, I'll have to send you all pictures. She has done it all. All of the stuff needed to be handmade, and it is handmade, and it's just amazing what she did with that circus. She's still working on it because she has extra time now. But June 10th is when that will be. I don't know if you know, but there's a majority of the homes, even from Guyman and out in the Panhandle, that come to that. So
Wow.
It's a huge undertaking. And then we did some Paycom training to get our scheduling on the computer. We've had, I believe we rolled out April as a trial, and we'll, and Toby's already got May done. So we are probably finding that it's a lot easier. There's only a couple of things as far as printing that last schedule to look at that we're trying to work on. I have been talking with Mary about the possibility of having some nurses' aides that would want to come and help the hospital out since their census is high. That would give them a little bit of a break also. And we have several that are interested in doing that. Most all of them are nursing students. I think they want that kind of momentum eventually, so maybe that will give them a little bit. Then the housekeeping department, and myself and Nancy are trying to work on some flooring issues. I'm not happy with those floors, so I'm trying to make them look better. We are down in our census. I'm hoping that our April census will be at least 48, I'm not sure. We've stayed pretty much 50 for the month of April, so, but we've had a lot of hospital days. So we're just working hard, and any questions?
Any questions for Rita?
Did I talk about what I was supposed to? No, I did not. Poor Kevin. Didn't mean to. Tony and I will be revising looking at and revising our admission packet and focusing on financial issues as far as getting that taken care of up front instead of as they are in the middle of their stay or discharging. Years ago, I'm sure you all know or don't know, most families would come to the facility, they would get the information, they would go home, discuss it with their person, which was, by the way, mad that they discussed it with them, but at least it was discussed. But, and then they would come and fill the paperwork out and give us the financial information that we need. A lot of times, we're not getting that anymore. The kind of admissions we're getting are, I need a bed right now. Sometimes we may not even see the family for 2 or 3 days. So, one, it's because I believe they're in a trauma type, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with mom or dad? We've got to do something. We can't take care of them. So I think that's part of it. So we're going to try to figure out something that is beneficial to them and us, and maybe some of the transfer into facilities. I'll try to get that hopefully by next month.
Okay. Well, thank you for your efforts. Appreciate it. Next, foundation report, Kelly.
The foundation, just want to remind all the board members that our volunteer and donor appreciation dinner is Thursday evening from 6 to 7:30, Northwestern Ranger Room. So, hopefully you all can make it, and we'll have dinner and brief program and express our appreciation for all those people that have, including yourselves, that donate your time and some of your money at times and just to help out with the operations out here and other projects. So that is Thursday evening. The board will meet Thursday morning. We had a later board meeting this month due to scheduling conflicts last Thursday, so we'll meet this week.
All right. I skipped over homestead report apparently. But it's still you, Kelly.
Would you like the homestead report?
I'd like the homestead report. How about that?
Our occupancy was at 84%, just over 84%. That's 45 paid customers a night, and that's about a 12% improvement over last year. We do currently have a waiting list for 2 sizes of apartments, our super 2-bedroom and our 2-bedroom. So both of our largest apartments, there's a waiting list for those. Some of the activities, we hosted the Christian church that provided sunrise services for Easter Sunday. We also had a trip to the casino. They went to Tonkawa and Ponca all in one trip, whirlwind trip, really windy trip, but they had a great time. This week, Northwestern's NSA students will be hosting what they've called their senior prom. And this will be the 3rd year for that. The residents always love it, so that's a good multi-generational activity, so we'd like to host that. And we currently have our annual resident satisfaction and needs assessment out, distributed among residents for completing that process. Other than that, our hot water system, heater system had been, I don't want to say limping along because it's actually doing pretty well, but it is down in capacity right now. But we do have the new hot water heater in place. It's not hooked up yet. We're still operating on the one hot water heater that we had previously, and it's keeping up with everything that we needed to keep up with. So it's really not been an issue other than needing to get the redundancy back in place should it, meet the end of whatever life it has. So, and that should happen within the next week. Goodrich's are already out working on it. And the old hot water heaters are ready to be hauled off. I guess the only other thing I got is we did renegotiate with our rates on some of our Meals on Wheels, so we'll be seeing for the Woods County Sheriff's Office a 10% rate increase. Hadn't changed in at least 5 years, I think. So I'll answer any questions.
Residents still happy with the change in the meals and all that? Please? Yes.
We have, and we are signing more residents up that had, previously decided they didn't want our meal program, but 2 have signed up in the last 6 weeks.
I know from certain shut-ins out there, the comments that I've heard is that it's good, and glad you came down because I'm going down for breakfast or that kind of thing.
Elaine Snable was nominated by the resident council to go talk to the city council last night, and that was one of the things she raved on was the food.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions for Kelly? If not, thank you. Appreciate it. Next, St. Anthony's report. Bridget?
I don't have very many things. Just a reminder that Advocacy Day is on the 25th, and they're having the dinner at night, and then the day at the Capitol from, I think it's 8 to 10, the next day on the 26th. So just a reminder that if you could possibly make it up there, this certainly is a crucial year, and to be talking about how it impacts your hospital and your community. Certainly with the nursing home, I'm not sure what your Medicaid mix is in the nursing home, but
If you notice, there's tons of news stories and nursing homes that are saying how detrimental it's going to be to them. Even the residents, they're going out and talking to the residents. There was a nursing home at Sepulveda, I believe Fairview had a clip on
Yes, I
News
saw
5,
that.
I think. So it's huge. We do have a new webinar Friday, which I'll listen to and see if they know anything else they're going to do.
Sure.
But I'm
It's-
telling you, it's not going to be pretty.
It is critical, and it's, you get mixed messages on the understanding of the impact of that. And then there's some people that believe that was just kind of a bluff. The 25% might be, but they're still going to have to cut. I mean, there's just not enough dollars to go around. So even if it's at 12%, it's rough. It's rough on a lot of people. And I mean, even at St. Anthony's, I think 12% was like almost $12 million, just because we have behavioral medicine, which is majority is Medicaid. So it's leaving the most vulnerable out there. And so just really, really concerned. So we've been doing campaigns. We've been sharing some of the things that we're doing from our level. And Jimmy Durant put together a nice little talking point piece and sent it out to all the affiliates that has all the immediate contacts underneath it, so they don't have to look up or figure out who your people are. And so hopefully their phones have been burning up over the last couple of weeks, and we can at least get our point across. And that's just another good opportunity to get face-to-face with them. Because some of them, when you go on that Tuesday morning, some of them tend to either be in session or won't step out. And so it's really a good time to get face-to-face with them in that evening. So just wanted to remind everybody that is coming up. We have tentatively scheduled a planning session for May 14th. So I'll probably be getting with the CEOs this week just to see if that is working for everybody or not working for everybody.
May 14th, what does that look like for you guys? Because what we're planning on doing is going to Enid, is that?
Most likely.
Most
It'll be
likely.
either Enid or O'Keene. It'll be
Okay,
somewhere.
Enid or O'Keene,
Mhm.
and kind of like a board retreat.
It's the worst time of the year. It is. There's so many things going on.
That's
That's why.
graduation. Oh, wait, stuff every.
Oh, and Jason's got a senior.
Yeah, that would, if
That
we
would
were
not work.
fortunate enough to make the state baseball tournament, that would be that.
Yeah, you can't
And
miss that. Right,
It's
because
also
I
the same
kinda-
time as our local baseball.
And that's, I figured that would be difficult to get everybody. So if that date doesn't work for the majority, then we'll certainly look at a different day. But that's, I think I've mentioned that before. That's just with everything that's going on in healthcare, we just want to sit down and decide really what we need to do, and kind of really some really good probably about 5 strategic goals that we need to do as a system and our rural development department to assist as we're trying to make it through the next 12, 18, 36 months. Because we've got half of our hospitals are stable, and then half of them are not. And so it's a huge concern to us, because we certainly don't want to see any of them struggle or ultimately end up closing or having to turn to an outpatient facility. So I think to make sure that we're shoring up everything that we can from our perspective.
Is it definitely going to be on a Saturday?
That was what the affiliate CEOs had suggested, is that a Saturday might be better. We will do it in any day that y'all want to do it, whatever accommodates the network.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys putting that together.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
absolutely. We'll walk
Good
down
day.
that day. Like I said,
Okay.
it just gets hard, then you get into summer,
The
so.
goal was, I think we talked about
Yeah.
it, to pick a few things that we want to do
Yeah.
and get it knocked out.
let's see, you know, from a physician recruitment standpoint, I feel like there's some opportunities for us to try to assist, because it is hard to get out of the hospitals when you're trying to run your everyday business. If there's something from that angle that we can do, if there's some revenue cycle optimization that we can assist with as a group.
Or if we can form our own locums group, you know, and pass around providers instead of paying, you know, premium
I
price
think there's some opportunities. And
Employ them
I think if we could all
and
kind
pass
of
them around.
come together and figure out what those goals are as a network, and that will be certainly what our tasks are, to be sure that we get those things put in place moving forward. So we'll continue to support all the services and programs that we have currently in place. We just really feel like we just need to sit down and decide, you know, what else do we need to do to help over the next year.
I think I'll take that job.
Okay.
Sounds kind of good. I can work when I want to, kind of do some stuff, do some internal medicine.
Think of all the different EHRs you're gonna have to
That'd be-
sign up to.
I'm good with all of them right now.
Okay. And then lastly, our pavilion is scheduled to open June 10th. If the state doesn't come back and say anything else, then June 10th is the date. So, unless y'all have any other questions, that's really, I think the last 30 days have just gone by really fast for some reason.
Yes, they are.
Feel like I was
So
just
as
here.
Bridget was talking about the Medicaid cuts, Kevin had kind of projected that if we experienced a 15% cut, it'd be about $250,000
Right.
per year, is what that would cost us between the nursing homes.
It's almost double that, it's almost $500,000. Significant. And those are the things that we're worried about, because we see those things, and then we also see, you know, your sales tax is already down, and that's the same things happening in
On
your
top
other
of that,
occupations.
DHS has, oh my goodness, they've combined all of the caseworkers for the western part of the state.
Yeah.
And those, so if I'm working on a claim or a new DHS patient, that may go to somebody clear down in Hobart or out to Guyman, and they're just doing it as they go. So you're not gonna get, I think it's gonna really slow down that process.
I can see that.
Really, I'm scared, I'm worried about that. It's already slow, and I think that's just gonna be terrible.
Any other questions, discussion on the standing case? If not, Bridget, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Bo is not here, so we don't have a city council report. I do not have anything special to report. And there were no new items of new business, so we are adjourned.